Alright, hey guys, remember CCG back with a new video. So there's a brand new archetype named Regenesis, and I'm going to give my first reactions to this archetype. Let's see if it's any good. So here we're going to get started with Regenesis Warrior Bearer Sheet. So looks like a generic warrior type guy. We're going to have to see what the other are, just how this comes together. You can only special summon with the first effect of this card's name once per turn, and you can only use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn, so that makes sense. If a monster with 2500 original attack or defense is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. This card obviously has 2500 attack and defense. I'm assuming the other ones have either 2500 attack or defense in order to pop these out. And it's also level 7. That might be potentially relevant. Maybe we're going to be exceed summoning since we are able to special summon out such a big monster. And then quick effect, you can tribute this card, then target one monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So that's nice. You can easily get this out, potentially keep it just so that you're able to bounce something during your opponent's turn. And then during your opponent's end phase, if this card is in your graveyard, because it will center this turn, you can add it to your hand. So some recursion as well. So seems pretty solid. It seems like it's able to accomplish a lot. It looks like this is another level 7, and yeah, it looks like just warriors with different attributes. This one was a fire, and this was a water. So this is Regenesis Sage Shamat. It's a level 7 water spellcaster effect monster, 2500 attack and 2500 defense. Same effects here. Each once per turn. And then if a monster with 2500 original attack or defense is on the field, you can special summon this card out. So same as the other one. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can send one other Regenesis card from your hand or face the field to the grave to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So this is great. You're able to get this out relatively early on. If you can get out one of your other 2500s, looks like we're probably going to have an effect, maybe a spell card that's able to get it out. And then from here, get this out and protect yourself from card effects and potential hand traps. Seems pretty strong so far. And then during your opponent's end phase, if this card is in your graveyard, because it'll center this turn, you can add it to your hand. So same thing as before. If you're able to save this until your opponent's turn, then you can have some recursion there and pop off the next turn. So here's Regenesis Dragon Valkyria. So this is a Dragon Wind monster, level 8, so it's going to change it up a little bit. Probably it might not go with the Exceed plan here. If a monster with 2500 original attack or defense of the field, you can summon it out, same as the other ones. Quick effect, you can tribute this card, then target one spell trap card your opponent controls and banish it. So pops on or banish something on the board. That's nice. Obviously, it's going to depend on what exactly you're going to be targeting for this. Continuous spells and field spells would be great targets for this, or traps that are just recently placed, but otherwise it isn't too relevant. And then during your opponent's end phase, if this card is in your graveyard, because it'll center its turn, you can add it to your hand. So you can see the kind of formula of these cards here. This is able to special summon it out as long as you have a 2500 attack or defense. And then here the unique effect. And then the third effect here is to just have some recursion. And here we have Regenesis Archfiend Beamidbar. So it's a level 8 Earth Fiend effect monster. So it looks pretty cool. Looks very much like an Archfiend monster as well. If a monster with 2500 original attack or defense is on the field, of course, same as the other ones, get it out. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Regenesis card from your deck or banishment to your hand, except for this card. So have some search ability built in. That's nice, especially because you're able to special summon this card out. And then during your opponent's end phase, if this card is in the grave, just add it back to your hand. So this is going to be the searcher for the deck. And then here we have the light monsters. So I think we have one of each attribute now, since we saw the fire, water, wind, earth, light. I think we're missing the dark here. Is this? Yeah, this is the earth. So we still don't have a dark. I'm assuming the dark might be a boss monster of some kind. If not, then and maybe in future support we'll get one. But here is Regenesis God Deuteronomion. So this is a level 10 light illusion special summon effect monster with 2500 attack and 2500 defense, just like the other ones, but this is a level 10. It cannot be normal summon / set, so it must be special summon from your hand by banishing one face-up monster you control with 2500 original attack or defense. So it looks like you're going to be using this to replace one of your Regenesis monsters. Get this card out. If this card is special summoned, you can set one Regenesis spell or trap from your deck. So we're going to see what those exact targets are. It gains 2500 attack during the battle phase only, so it can get a little bit beefy, and it does some piercing. So nothing too crazy, just another searcher that is going to come at the cost of another Regenesis monster. And here is the spell card, Regenesis, just straight up Regenesis. You can take one Regenesis monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to graveyard, or if you control a Regenesis monster, you can add one monster with 2500 attack and defense from your deck to your hand instead. So either add a Regenesis monster Or if you control Regenesis monster, it actually gives you access to other monsters with 2500 attack and defense. So let me know what potential targets can be for that are actually worth some searching out. This card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there. You can banish it, then target one Regenesis monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So we have a Monster Reborn built into this card, so that's pretty nice. Surger here, a Rhoda for the deck, and also a Monster Reborn, so that's pretty solid. And here we have Tora Regenesis, which is a quick play spell card. You cannot special summon from the extra deck until the end of the turn after this card resolves. Also special summon one Regenesis monster from your deck, but send it to the graveyard during your opponent's end phase. So that's nice. You're going to be locked out of your extra deck, which sucks. But looks like this deck is leaning away from using your extra deck and just trying to rely on your Regenesis monsters and purely having those out. Then during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your grave, then target one of your banished Regenesis monsters and bring it out. It's a pretty heavy cost in order to special summon a Regenesis monster from your deck, but the deck seems to be leaning away from that either way. Seems pretty solid. And then here we have the Trap, which is Regenesis Birth. So you can send one Regenesis monster from your deck to the graveyard and target one face-up monster your opponent controls and flip it face down. So it looks like this is just going to be a Book of Moon here that's also able to pitch something to the grave. So Foolish Burial built into this for Regenesis monsters, so it has some recursion because it says a continuous trap card. Then during your opponent's turn, you can send this face-up card from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard and special summon as many Regenesis monsters with different names as possible from your hand, graveyard, and or banishment, but send them to the graveyard during the end phase. And the nice thing is that with these Regenesis monsters effects, you're actually able to add them back to your hand. And so again, recursion, and you could just pop off later on. So you can use this to pitch something, get it back during the end of your opponent's turn. Maybe pop off with that as well. Whatever you lose, you can use this. During your opponent's turn, you're able to use this, get out a bunch of Regenesis monsters, and then get them back when they're sent to the graveyard during the end phase. Looks like a pretty solid trap, and this seems like a pretty interesting archetype that's leaning away from using the extra deck, obviously. I don't know if there was another dark monster that came out previously before this that was able to, that goes with this whole archetype. If there is, let me know. But it seems pretty solid overall, but we got to see how it plays. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.